just around the corner from a historic election, or probably the biggest transition of political leadership, in terms of the number of city council seats, and of course, mayor and a few other races. So I'm just curious if our speakers in your kind of closing 1 minute remarks, how you're seeing the race, and if you have any advice for the candidates seeking office about how we can move this agenda forward.
One of the ways to move the agenda forward is to be honest and acknowledge that what we're doing is not working. And it's not about a small, minute change that does not show any impact. It's about significant changes that redirects how we spend money to support the people who are in need. That's what it's about. It's not that they don't have the money. We're not asking for new money. We're telling them to redirect the money they already have. Stop paying foster families. Stop incarcerating. Stop spending $6,000 a month on a homeless shelter for 5 family members to live in a room. Rent them apartments. You have the money. Utilize it in the right way.
My big advice for anyone running is to actually listen to advocates, because for everything that we're talking about, all of us, and I mean, I don't know everyone well, but I think I could speak for all of us in saying that we all have 1,000 anecdotes for how each of these things are issues. Just for as Joanna was talking, I was saying so many clients out as a public defender. As Joyce was talking, I turned my camera off because I was thinking about real clients that I had when I was a juvenile defender, and how how so many of these problems cause real issues. If you win and if you get into office, reach out to advocates, and we can weaponize you with not only the policy, but also the personal anecdotes and the personal stories that can actually move the needle on this stuff, and actually make change and make hopefully part of all the people's plan actually come to fruition.
I think this isn't quite advice for candidates because 501c3 status, but more how we make change generally. And I think part of it, to Joyce's point, is being honest, and speaking, if you're in power, you can't, it's speaking truth to the systems that have been in place for decades. It is addressing what truly needs to be addressed, and doing a deep systems level analysis of what folks need and what actually we would consider safe. It's not what we're sold, that safety, it's what actually makes us feel safe in our communities, in our homes, around the people that we love, and then treating the rest of the city like that, and what we need to get there to make sure that everyone has the resources to do that without sacrificing more than they can give.
I would just quickly add that, and in my personal capacity, for those of you who win, when you get into office, there will be so many agency officials who are there to tell you what is impossible, who are there to tell you what can't be done, who are there to tell you why certain things can't be changed or are immovable. Your job is to ignore them. Your job is to tell them what you want to have happen, what the people of the city want to have happen, what you've been elected to make happen. And that is the sort of transformation that is possible. That is the sort of transformation we have seen unfold in countless communities across the country. And that is the sort of transformation that is long past due in New York City. And that is something that I believe that the incoming class of elected officials will have the power to make happen, but only if you actually stand up to those who tell you it's impossible.
I just wanted to add that I think I agree with everything that was said, and to add to that, just deep commitment to implementation, and understanding that implementation takes deep work, and intentionality, and the work. I feel like we all understand it's not it was before us and it will be after us. So also understanding that that implementation work is deep work, and there will be people who say no to you a lot of times, or that's not possible, this and that, but it was said, the money is literally there. So while you are in this position of power, how are you doing the work of implementation?
I also want to echo pretty much everybody, but especially Jared. I think for mayoral candidates, what's right, the right thing to do is sometimes incredibly controversial. I think a lot about, traditional abolitionists, I'm sure, whenever they were saying, oh, we should actually be liberating enslaved Africans, that was like just unimaginable for so many people. In the same way that we're saying we need to defund the police, it seems unimaginable to people now, but it's actually not that. And so what I would say is lean on the community-based organizations and the advocates, but not just that. I really believe that it's incredibly important that elected officials or those seeking office use this opportunity to have genuine conversations. If your constituents are on the fence about ending homelessness or defunding the police, hold the community-based town halls, hold 500 of them across the city. Have these conversations. We're talking about human beings. So if it doesn't poll well, that should not be the only thing that determines how you make a decision politically. You can help move that poll. So hold the spaces to help people understand what it is that we're actually talking about, because there's so much static, so much noise at play that is rooted in the kind of imperialist, white supremacist, capitalist, heteropatriarchal, as bell hooks would name it, all the Black radical queer feminists. There's so many things at play that people are inundated by. And just the reality is that the vast majority of New Yorkers simply don't have time to be doing a deep structural analysis about every single issue, because they're working 2 jobs, because they're trying to avoid the shelter, or they're trying to get out of the shelter, or they're trying to get their children back from ACS. So I think it's important, and it's on the onus of those of power with the ability, with the time to be able to convene those spaces if you want to govern in a way, again, that is anti-racist, class-conscious, gender-expansive, that is towards egalitarianism. And that is what we should expect, and anything less than that is unacceptable.